Hello everyone, this is Reverend Dr. Red. I'm doing a couple of videos, small series of videos on the OWS movement. With all the media out there, both the independent underground media as well as the mainstream media. You know, you have the media that's saying one thing, and the occupiers saying something else. I'm trying to address the situation with an open mind, and I'm going to be using some facts of what I've seen, and what's going on in the OWS movement to try to clarify for everybody what exactly is going on with the OWS movement. In each of these videos in the series for the OWS, I'm giving different pieces of my opinion of the movement. Each piece of my opinion that's relevant to the topic I'm speaking about in that particular video. And as time goes on and the movement continues to morph, become organized, and there's newer reports out what's going on, and my opinion is to change, I will then address that and come out with a video on my new opinion on the OWS movement. Now, in this video, I'm going to address whether or not the OWS movement is anarchist. There's quite a few different media entities that are suggesting that they are anarchist. There are also videos of occupiers that I've seen on YouTube that are calling themselves anarchists. And everybody has this belief that anarchism is complete, utter destruction and chaos. There's also the fact that the Communist Party endorsed the OWS movement. And they're having videos of the occupiers, quite a number of them, suggesting that they do in fact want a communistic type government or some form of communism. And then there's videos of the OWS movement that is saying that they don't want a communistic state, they don't want capitalism, they don't really state exactly what it is they're looking for, other than the fact that they agree on the fact that the bankers are the problem, they have all the money, they blame capitalism, and that's really all they can seem to agree on. Other than that, they don't really seem to agree on what type of government they would like to have. But they do say in official videos that they are not communistic, they are not anarchists. Now, to address anarchism, the definition of anarchism, in fact, that's a political theory holding all forms of government authority to be unnecessary and undesirable, and advocating a society based on voluntary cooperation and free association. Okay, now there's nothing in that definition of anarchism that denotes violence or chaos. And anarchy in itself is a form of government. To give you all a better example of what an anarchy is, think of the Native Americans. They didn't have capitalism, they didn't have, any set form of monetary system. They didn't have a communistic type of government. What they had was split up, was individual tribes, and each tribe had a council. And above the council was the chief of the tribe. Whenever there was a problem with the tribe, whether it be warfare, natural disasters, a dispute between people within the tribe, any kind of issue, it was addressed by the council and addressed by the chief of the tribe. And everybody had their job to do. Whether you were a hunter-gatherer, a farmer, Killing was mainly the woman that stayed home and took care of the younger children, making the huts or the teepees or whatever the individual tribes used for housing, the clothing. Everybody had a job to do, and everybody in turn traded. Say I was a hunter-gatherer. I went out with a few other of my fellow Indians to go out hunting. Say we just took down a bison for dinner. We'll bring that back to the tribe and cut it up, and we'll disperse the meat across to everybody. Say, and then a farmer's going to come along and disperse the vegetables across to everybody. And you have this one over here that does the folding for everybody. When everybody has a job, everybody does it, and it's all based on, well, I want or I need that. I have this, so we're gonna trade. You need what I have, I need what you have, and we're gonna trade. Everybody has their job. Everybody was in charge of a different thing. That's what an anarchy is. It's not about chaos and destruction. That's nihilism. Nihilism is complete, utter chaos and violence. So please, stop confusing nihilism with anarchy. All of you anarchists out there that are all for destruction and bashing in windows and turning over cars and igniting buildings up in flames, you're not anarchists. You're nihilists. Anarchy is actually a quite peaceful type government setup. And then we have communism. Communism is a theory advocating the elimination of private property, a system in which goods are owned in common and are available to all as needed. And when it's capitalized, it is a doctrine based on revolutionary Marxian socialism and Marxism-Leninism that was the official ideology of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, a totalitarian system of government in which a single authoritarian party controls state-owned means of production, a final stage of society in Marxist theory in which the state has withered away and economic goods are distributed equitably, communist systems collectively. So, and then the exact dictionary definition for nihilism is a complete denial of all established authority and institutions, philosophy, an extreme form of skepticism that systematically rejects moral values, belief in existence, possibility of communication, etc., a revolutionary doctrine of destruction for its own sake, and the practice or promulgation of terrorism. So based on the definitions of anarchism, communism, and nihilism, I'm going to say this. in my opinion, no, you are not anarchists. You do seem to very well give off that impression to the media of what an anarchy really is, but no, you're not anarchists. There's a small faction of you that are nihilists, but the overall movement, in my opinion, seems to be very communistic. I mean, you don't, from what I've seen, quotes from occupiers as well as the media, you all seem to believe in this collective thinking, in a collective mind. There's no room for individuality. And you don't seem to believe in private ownership. You believe that everything should belong to everyone. And the fact that your General Assembly seems to be running the different encampments, everything has to go through them. That would be similar to your totalitarian type governmental head of a communist state, controlling and distributing everything equitably where they so decide it needs to flow. And from what I'm seeing, that's exactly what the General Assembly of your encampments are doing. So, in my personal opinion, the OWS movement is not anarchist. As a whole, they are not nihilistic. No, there is a small faction that is nihilistic. And there's a bigger part of the movement that is, in fact, communistic. For right now, that is my opinion. From what I've seen so far, that is what I believe the OWS movement is. A small part of it is nihilistic. A bigger part of it is communistic. No part of it is anarchist. If I am wrong, please correct me. But, here again, time will tell. I've been watching the underground media as well as mainstream media and videos of the occupiers themselves since the occupation started. And from what I've seen so far, unfortunately, this is what I need to say my beliefs are. From looking at the movement, there's a small faction that's nihilistic, a bigger faction that is communistic, and going by a definition of what anarchy is, no part of it is anarchist. God bless.